On the American agenda this week, we've been concentrating on religion in the public schools. In every part of the country, there are public schools embroiled in a battle over whose values will be taught. On one side, those who very much want their religious beliefs reflected in the curriculum. On the other, those who believe religion has no place at all in the school. As we've reported in the last two nights, it is immensely difficult to find common ground. Immensely difficult. So on the agenda tonight, the man whose job it is to find it. Our religion reporter's Peggy Waymeyer.
I would like to remind the board.
Last night, you met Barbara Anderson and Allison Gottsman, two women on opposite sides of the struggle in Jefferson County, Colorado. Like so many other people here, they disagree over everything from how to teach sex education to the role of self-esteem classes to ways of measuring achievement.
In a sense, the heart of Asia.
What began as polite disagreement has degenerated into vicious name-calling and accusations. Different worldviews have been stereotyped. The fanatic religious right versus the godless liberals. With no relief in sight, the school district earlier this month called for outside help. Charles Haynes is a noted religion and education scholar.
Can we find common ground?
Haynes' specialty is finding common ground for troubled school districts.
The First Amendment separates church from state, but not religion from public life.
He's helped educators nationwide find the appropriate role for religion in schools. Haynes has an impressive track record. Take Williamsville, a community in upstate New York that for years struggled bitterly in the schools with the December dilemma, how to keep some religion in religious holidays.
This is a menorah.
With Haynes' help, administrators here worked out a policy which not only included the diverse religions in the community, but explained their beliefs.
Christians remember that Jesus was born to save them and give them hope.
Williamsville schools went beyond holidays.
Famous name from the Bible. Philip. Abraham.
Haynes guided educators in designing a year-round curriculum which teaches about religion without preaching it.
Prior to this, it was exclusionary. You did very little. Now we do everything. We're not teaching religion, but we're teaching about each other.
Jefferson County is a long way from Williamsville geographically and philosophically. Haynes says the first step here is getting people with vastly different viewpoints simply to listen to each other. It's no small task.
The attack on people of conservative religious values, I believe, is at an all-time high.
The ultimate goal in all of these sectarian battles over curriculum, sex ed, and so forth is to replace the public schools with something more akin to the religious academies.
Haynes' next challenge is to move beyond the anger and toward understanding.
They also belong.
To the conservative Christians, he says this.
We do have, in the name of protecting conscience, a right, a responsibility not to indoctrinate kids in any particular faith.
And to educators who are uneasy with any discussion of religion,
students have the right to speak in religious terms when they answer a question, write a paper, draw something in an art class. That is a protected right under the First Amendment.
The key, says Haynes, is finding the balance, religious freedom without religious coercion. Democracy depends on it.
The public schools are the place where we build our nation, where we transmit from one generation to the next commitment to democratic principles. And if we can't do that in public schools, then we don't have a future as a nation.
Jefferson County is taking the first steps in a long process where agreement is not necessarily the goal. What's essential is for people to learn to live together with their differences. This is Peggy Waymeyer for the American Agenda.
Just one other note today about values. The governor of Hawaii has signed a bill banning marriages between members of the same sex. The bill will be challenged and may make it all the way to the Supreme Court. Back in just a moment. Finally tonight, sports at the highest level. The big celebration in Houston won't be until tonight, but after waiting so long, Houston fans have a lot to celebrate. The Rockets beat the New York Knicks last night for the National Basketball Association Championship. It is the first major sports crown ever for that city, and they have taken it very seriously. When it comes to taking sports seriously, however, nothing compares to the way the rest of the world takes the World Cup in soccer. Played here for the first time ever and watched avidly is an understatement by hundreds of millions of people elsewhere. In South Korea, workers at the world's largest shipyard went on strike so they could watch the game between South Korea and Bolivia being played in Boston. But the big soccer story today is last night's incredible upset of Colombia's powerful team by the United States of America. There was pandemonium among the U.S. fans at the Rose Bowl in California. It was the first victory in a World Cup tournament for the U.S. in 44 years. And were they ever happy in Kearny, New Jersey? Here's ABC's Armin Kateyan.
This is good possession here. This is America's soccer team. Ramos sending on to Ernie Stewart, the chip, score! And this is America's self-proclaimed soccer town. Kearny, New Jersey, population 35,000, bills itself as Soccer Town, USA. To help back that claim, it has produced 3 stars for the surprising U.S. World Cup team. Goalie Tony Meola and midfielders John Harkes and Tab Ramos.
We grew up, soccer was the most important sport in our town, and Kearny has proved over the years that it is the soccer town.
Kearny's soccer-rich heritage traces back more than 100 years to immigrant men who worked the local mills.
We had a lot of Scottish, Irish, English, Italian in this community itself. When we were growing up playing, I mean, there was kids out here, 40, 50 kids every day.
Kearny kids like Harkes have followed in the footsteps of other world-class players.
We did have Olympic men representing Kearny. We had the first World Cup represented by the goalkeeper from Kearny.
The shrine of soccer in Kearny is here at a place called the Gunnell Oval, a dusty, worn-out field in the shadow of New York City, where Harkes, Meola, Ramos, and thousands of other local children all learn to love the game.
We play down here every day because all of us want to be a soccer player.
Hoping to carry on a tradition, now in the hands of Kearny's favorite son. The header, the save by Tony Meola!
Everybody is as happy as they could be for what you've done, and they're proud of what you've done, and they feel like they're part of it.
All of Kearny was part of it last night as Team USA shocked Colombia. When the World Cup cheering ends, they'll still be celebrating here. In Soccer Town, USA, there is always another game. Armin Kateyan, ABC News, Kearny, New Jersey.
Great game. That's our report on World News Tonight. Later this evening on Prime Time, Diane Sawyer with the latest on the O.J. Simpson case, including her exclusive interview with O.J. Simpson's friend Paula Barbieri. I'm Peter Jennings. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.